Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the October 26, 2023 meeting of the Falmouth Zoning Board of Appeals. Our first item this evening is executive session pursuant to General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3. As chair, I'm making a preliminary determination of the need of an executive session for the purposes of meeting with town council relating to an appeal. Is there a vote to go into executive session and return to open meeting afterwards?
Jerry Thomas, aye.
No, is there a motion?
Moved.
So moved
That's
the
a
motion.
Mark who's second.
Whatever.
Roll call vote.
Jerry Thomas, aye.
Finner and I.
Morse, aye.
Murphy, aye.
Peterson, I.
Petrucci, aye.
We are in executive session. Right. And welcome back. Next up on our agenda is public comment. This public comment is reserved for anything that is not specifically on the agenda. Does any member of the public wish to comment on anything not on the agenda? Seeing none. We have one continuation this evening, continuation of hearing 06120M Ecoland Development LLC, 0 Percival Road, Lot 4, T-Ticket, requesting the board to review revised plans for the comprehensive permit pursuant to a mediation assented to by the parties during the applicant's appeal with a vote anticipated. This hearing is closed, so we will not be taking testimony or public comment. Does everyone on the board have a copy of the draft findings, decision, and conditions?
Yes.
Unless there is strong opposition from the board, has everyone had an opportunity to review previous to the hearing this evening?
Yes.
All right. With regards to procedural history, letters, emails, letters and referrals from town departments, abutters or interested parties, are there any comments, corrections, or additions that anyone on the board would like to make?
I have none.
I have none.
None. No, that's pretty comprehensive.
Is there a motion to approve the decision as to those issues?
So
Jerry
moved,
Thomas, aye.
procedural history only.
Yes, procedural history, up to the
So
procedural
moved.
history. Give that to Suzanne. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll give that to Scott. Any discussion? All those in favor, do we have to do this roll call, Noreen? I'm sorry. Or,
Negative.
all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Up to that is approved. Under plans submitted by applicant and applicant's representative, on page 4, going over to page 5, any additions, comments, or corrections that need to be made?
I have none.
I didn't see any.
Is there a motion to approve that portion of the decision?
Plan section?
Yep.
So moved.
We'll give that to Suzanne. Is there a second?
Second.
Give that to Mr. Finneran. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That is approved. On page 5, under findings, are there any corrections, additions, or language changes that anyone would like to make from the board under the findings of this board?
I have a few.
Okay?
Under item 4, it says due to the square footage of the size of the premises, I think project area probably is more in keeping with the general permit.
I would agree with that.
Change premises to project area.
So you've defined the premises on.
Actually, it's defined up previous, so that actually is
Okay.
okay.
So it's just for consistency.
Okay, never mind. Yep, good.
It's a good catch, though, Jerry.
Under number 20,
What I'll propose, and let's just go one by one, and any issues as to paragraph 1 of findings? Paragraph 2. Paragraph, actually, I'm sorry, going back,
Numbers, you mean?
yes, under findings, paragraph 1. Question to you, Noreen, back to 1. I know it said that it was 7.2% at the date of application. Do we want to add what it is as of today? Or just leave it be?
No.
Does it matter?
It doesn't, it just shows
Okay.
No, it doesn't, because it's what we're dealing with.
sleeping dogs will lie.
we ain't there yet.
Paragraph 2, or should I say, finding number 3. Finding number 4. Finding number 5. Finding number 6. Finding number 7. Finding number 8.
I had one for 8.
Okay.
In another part of the decision, it said 23 feet. And if I'm right, I think it was actually listed as like 23 point something? Is that why we rounded it?
Yeah, so they formerly had two different styles
Right.
of dwellings,
Yeah.
and they revised that to just be the single-story ranch. That being said, if you want to put 23 is fine.
Yeah, I just want it to be
Go
the same.
within.
Yeah.
Okay.
We amend to 23 then?
Are we voting on each amendment, or we'll just do it later?
We'll do a block. We're going to do a blanket vote for the
Yep.
Oh, yeah, okay, never mind, go ahead.
number 9. Number 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20.
20.
Go ahead.
Didn't we say that was going to be 2 spaces of guest parking? Shouldn't it be indicated as such? And then further is in a parking space, 18 feet, so it'd be 36, or would we have to go that far?
What is
This
it? I
was
don't
findings
understand
from
what
the
you're
This is on
saying.
number,
The guest parking out the edge of the lawn, edge of the road.
Oh, you're talking about like putting pavers
Yeah, the
in on the grass?
impervious, the pervious pavers or what, there's another name for that stuff too. Lattice, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be 2 spaces, as I recall.
I think that's
what
going to be a
happened.
condition, though, rather than a
But yeah, it's
finding.
this was the hearing
Yeah, that's
section.
right.
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, I
But
think I
yes,
made that- I think I made that note
I guess the
further
other
on.
part is that they have a garage, so there's parking
That's right.
there.
Right.
And if the driveway is 35 feet in length, presumably you can put another 2 vehicles there.
Right.
And then if they choose to do that pervious paver, they could have
Additional
space
parking,
/
right.
turnaround. So I think they'll hopefully be pretty good as far as sufficient parking.
And the applicant also indicated down by the fire turnaround would be guest
But
parking.
if you don't have guest parking, they're gonna be driving all over the lawns.
Said it.
Oh, no,
I asked.
That's a
That's what I
no.
was told.
yeah, that's a
We-
no. In fact, I guess you would put that in the conditions.
Okay.
That's a no.
What was that? I didn't hear it.
That you cannot park at the fire turnaround.
Correct.
at the
Right.
end.
Yes, I think we have that
That's there.
as a condition.
Get in, we'll,
But-
we'll get there in conditions.
Yeah, under B3.
Finding 21. Okay. Finding 22. Finding 23. 24. 25. 26. 27.
27, I have, I'm not sure if we need to add anything on that, or, because they're gonna be in charge of yard maintenance and,
Well, they're individual yards
Right.
for each house.
but I mean, they're also gonna be in charge of the entranceway into the new road.
Common
That
areas,
should be within the common areas.
Okay, that's called common areas, okay,
common area, yeah.
just as long as we have everything covered, that's
Yeah.
all, okay.
Anything else on 27? 28?
I had a question, we could back up,
Sure.
and this is probably, and I didn't go back to see if there was a finding. Do we want to include, they approved at the Concom. Do we want to say anything that they did not comment on box turtles? Because that was a comment from an individual at one of the meetings, that the observed box turtles on their property and the premises is likely to be habitable to, this is purely a procedural one. for
I
the
would
board.
suggest that that's covered under no jurisdiction, and we're not, well, we don't have jurisdiction over box turtles.
Okay.
There was also a report in the initial filing
Okay.
where there was no critters found
Okay.
protected, so, I mean, we're assuming that the environmental person that issued the report.
Okay.
And if DEP steps in sometime, that's nothing to do with us, but,
Correct.
so. Anything else on 28? 29? 30? 31? 32? 33? 34? 35? Number 36? 37? 38?
Yeah, question, that doesn't preclude the developer from having a set of mailboxes at the entrance to their property? This just says he anticipates.
So,
Each individual dwelling doesn't prohibit.
again, this is findings rather than
Okay, all right.
conditions.
And that's accurate representation of,
Yeah,
okay.
the testimony was that he anticipated mail to each dwelling. If that
Okay.
changes, it'd have to be coming back or requesting a substantial change. 39, anything else on 38, excuse me? 39? 40? Or 41?
Motion to approve the 41 findings
With one
As
change,
amended?
as amended, yes.
paragraph 8,
Yep.
for 23 feet in height,
Yes, as amended,
Yeah.
23 feet in height.
okay.
So why don't you hold off on the vote?
Yes,
Let me go through
We're
the-
gonna go right,
Okay.
correct.
jump over it.
That's a good idea.
Condition number 1, G1. Do we want to vote these individually?
Yeah, I guess I would just say if you have changes, talk about it.
Well, why don't we do like a blanket vote in town meeting, you go right
That was
through
gonna
it.
be my
Somebody will-
suggestion is,
Somebody will
I
hold
agree.
anything they want.
Yeah.
Any hold on condition G1? G2? G3?
Should may be changed to shall. Basement space shall not be used.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
North Shore Studies.
Any further discussion on G3?
There's another, did you get the second shell?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
G4, given our most recent issue regarding sheds, do we want to just put some language in that they can request a shed and not be larger than like an 8 by 10 or just something, and then, or do we want, or just want to say, I just don't want to keep coming back here if someone suddenly puts a shed in.
Can
I
we
think I'd
give
rather
her
just,
authority?
Is
Can
8
we
by
give her
10 the
authority?
smallest they can do automatically?
No, they could
No,
put
it's
the
200
There's
200
no minimum,
like
you can go up to
20 by
200
10.
now.
No, but 8 by 10, you don't need a permit.
You don't have to need a permit up to 200.
200 square feet.
Oh, okay.
you have a suggestion for us, Noreen?
I think it sheds in
Other
it.
developments that the board has done, if people have come back and asked for modern sheds, we've done them administratively or
That's what I think we should do.
Do we want to define what a modest shed is?
you know, like 8 by 10 type
8
of
by
thing,
10.
right? You know, what would be traditional,
Right.
typical size.
But if the town allows a 10 by 20,
It's a state,
Yeah, but that might be a different size lot. This is a denser situation.
these are fairly decent
these are
lots. I
fairly
mean, these are
decent
14.
lots. I mean, we just lost one, didn't we? Why don't we do this
I think
cleverly?
Mark's right. I think we have to define it.
Want to say no sheds greater than 8 by 10?
Without specific modification. of the-
Okay, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Then they can sue us.
For a good time.
All right, so
It gives somebody who's buying something to place their stuff
You
without,
want to say accepting 8 by 10 sheds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Equal to or less than?
Backyard,
Or, yeah, equal, less than 100 square feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good point.
let them have something to put the lawnmower and anything else that they
Yeah,
need.
and
without
then
having to
it's
keep coming back
restricted to
for
the
us.
backyard too, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
That should keep them happy.
So restricted to backyard.
Yes.
Okay, so we have, accepting less than 100 square feet in the rear yard.
Well, how about 100 square feet or less?
less.
Because then they'd have to build a 9.9 feet, 11 and a half inch, you know.
Anything else on the issue of sheds?
No?
I didn't know they were getting free plowing.
Condition G5. Condition G6.
Question?
Yep.
Do we want it says all stormwater directed to the recharge area within the premises, or do we want to say in accordance with the EPA general permit?
I think we got that covered later on.
Yep,
Yeah. Oh,
we
that's a
do?
condition.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's further on. G7? G8?
Wait, time.
Yep.
On G7, do we write of the HOA?
Where?
Or is it
Well,
each
so-
individual
right,
human?
each-
Is that what it is?
so
Yeah.
What I'm looking at here is each individual.
Okay,
So,
so that's each individual lot,
Yeah,
okay.
and the property owner thereof.
Yeah, on the individual
Okay.
lots.
Right.
and then the town has agreed to
Yeah.
fund the roadway.
Lucky.
Satisfied?
Yep, sorry.
No,
Yes.
no. G8? G9?
Can I just go back to?
Certainly.
G8? It says maximum height of dwelling shall be, per plans, not to exceed 23 feet in height. Why is there no condition in there that a certified plan certifying the height in there?
There is,
So,
There is?
there's an as-built somewhere
As-built,
later
yeah,
on.
plans.
There is, okay.
right, but we don't typically specifically ask them to certify height.
The 35.
Right.
And these are well below.
Yeah.
And
But there
yeah,
is
that-
a,
I mean, we're limiting them to 23. Why would we not have it certified?
there's an as-built further on, I believe, isn't there?
Okay, all right.
The other thing is that
The plan.
I'm not personally going to be upset if it's 23.3 feet
No,
at
I
the
don't-
end,
I
'cause they're
agree
well
with that.
below 30, so,
Right.
All right.
but it's a good catch. Anything else on G8? G9?
I don't know if this fits under it, but are the homeowners gonna get a copy of this decision? Could that go under this section?
Technically, a copy of the comprehensive permit should be filed
On
with the.
file.
So that they
Can we put
all
that in as a
have it.
condition then?
It's something that will show up in the title search
Yeah.
when they buy it, so.
They
Can we put
can't
it in a
not have
condition,
it,
though?
so, they can't not have it, right?
They may not read it.
They may
Well,
not
as
read
long
it,
as
but
they
it has
have
to
it.
be there.
So they can't say, I didn't know, you know?
Well, it's on record, so they're on notice.
Yeah.
And that's
And
a
it's
legal
required
principle.
anyway, so I don't,
Oh, we can discuss this, Rick. I mean, if you want, we could put language as, you know, buyers shall be advised that this property is subject to a comprehensive permit, or, but Mr. Duffy's correct, it's a matter of
Sorry,
title
yeah.
record.
Excuse me, homeowner docs?
That's what I'm wondering, it can get lost, you know?
That's a good place to put it, as the homeowner doc.
Yeah,
So why don't we specify that that be added into that?
is there a homeowner doc section we're coming up
Yeah,
to?
I'm trying to- yeah, we do.
All right, so we can just do it in a later, let's just keep it in mind anyway.
Okay, yep.
Condition G10.
We can kind of eliminate the shed part, no?
Why don't we strike the words including sheds? It's pretty well
Right.
covered before. G11? G12?
Could we break up the lots to be 4, 8, 12?
you can't have them next to one
5, 9,
another.
10?
Yeah, I thought you weren't supposed to have them next to each other.
You're not,
I don't follow the discussion.
you
What's
can't
the
have the
line?
affordable ones next to one another.
Supposed to be alternating.
Oh, okay.
Right? somebody ought to look at the plan and see if they really are next to each other.
Yeah,
They are.
They are, okay.
yes.
5, 9, and 10 are next to each other.
Should we just do lot 11 then? 5, 9, 11?
Well, it says, subject to approval of the subsidizing agency, so
Oh, okay.
won't that take care of it?
But if they don't see it and we let it go by, 9 and 10 is definitely a violation, or doesn't comply.
So 9 and 11.
Make it 11 then. Make it, instead of 10, make it 11.
Works for me.
I'm indifferent as long as
Any-
we split it up.
Yeah,
No big deal.
right, you know.
Yeah, you can't have two next to one another, that's,
No discussion.
Yep. Anything else on G12?
3, 5, 7.
Did we
I like
agree?
these numbers.
5, 9, 11?
5, 9, 11?
Okay.
5, 9, 11.
And then see what the housing.
And then our next to one another.
For the minutes, if they want to redesignate lots, do we want to authorize the zoning administrator to change that administratively?
Yeah, just as long as they're not next to
That's a
one
good
another,
idea.
that's the
That's a good idea.
criteria.
Yeah,
I don't care where he puts them, he should be able to do whatever he wants, I guess.
So there's some language, the zoning administrator can administratively
Yeah.
change as long as they're not together, the request of the developer. Anything else on 12? 13? 14?
And this, we've used the phrase affordable housing designee throughout this. Do we know who that is?
Him.
Well, her housing coordinator.
Yeah, so we could just change that housing coordinator,
I think it should be specific as to who it is.
the name of a
To
person.
someone's name?
No, not the name of
No,
a person, a
the
position.
position.
Yep, that's fine.
So it's housing coordinator?
Yep, that's
Which would be the designee.
And that's another spots in here, right?
Yeah.
fine though.
Okay.
That'll be made, that language will become consistent throughout the decision. Is that what you're looking for, Frank?
Yeah,
Okay. Anything else on 14? G15.
So
Yep.
15 is fortunately duplicative of 14, so I would recommend. I'll have to then
Renumber, of course.
approve the numbers
So for, just for the purpose of the minutes and the record, I'm going to continue to refer to these in the order in which they're printed in the document before us. They'll be administratively renumbered afterwards. G16. G17. G18. G19. G20.
Just a question. Is it standard procedure for 3 years?
Yes.
Yep.
yes.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Why is it? Is it bylaw?
To the statute.
Yeah,
No,
it's
it's
a
a statute.
statute.
I'm not gonna argue about that.
Thank you.
G21.
I had one that this does not designate where they should be located? Any lighting?
So you do have lighting shown on the plan, and then presumptively, homes have code lighting, like at the door, back.
I did read in one of the, I think it was Beals, that they did not have all proper lighting at intersections?
Now, this is individual
This is
dwelling.
Individual
individual
dwellings.
properties.
That's only the dwellings, okay. All right, I'll keep quiet.
No. Everyone satisfied with 21?
Yep.
S1.
You want to vote the
G's.
Gs?
Sure.
I would move the approval of the Gs with the exception of the amendments to G3, G4, G10, G12, G13, and the deletion of G15.
And the renumbering.
Well, it's, yeah, and renumbering, so.
Is there a second?
Second.
Give it to Suzanne. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? These conditions are approved. Conditions prior to site work. S1.
I have a question. The proposed road name until confirmed in writing by whom? Town engineer?
Usually the engineer.
So
Planning board.
Planning board? I don't know.
we have a partnership within the town where if there's a proposed road name, engineering has typically been in charge of designating addresses, but we also check with the assessors, we check with the town clerk. So I have a list of fire and rescue. So the intent is that we just not have names that are.
Duplicate.
In accordance with town provisions.
For Sunset Lanes.
Okay,
We want
Responsible
to
for
make sure we don't
911.
have two roads
Yep.
with the same name.
that's okay.
Any other questions or comments on S1? S2?
All right, S2, how are we gonna enforce this?
We don't enforce.
Well, how will it be for, how will the town enforce?
I would presume here that if people in that neighborhood, because we're talking about the intersection
Right.
of this new road with Percival.
Right.
That the people that regularly travel there, if they're having issues, I would presume that they would contact.
File a complaint and it has to be enforced. It's-
Okay.
I don't think anybody's gonna go out and inspect this. That
Right.
just doesn't happen.
No, but I'm saying, so typically after the fact, what happens is based on a complaint,
We
right?
should handle this before the fact.
Do we want language that the developer's responsible for getting, and then the homeowners is for maintaining?
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Right, because we're saying,
Require
Has to be
perpetual
done.
maintenance.
Right,
and then the homeowners have to be responsible, right?
correct.
But it still doesn't deal with that tree that's on the private property.
Okay, so, right, so that's where the select board will have to vote specifically on any obstruction on a private property. So we do have that later on where we require that.
That's the next one, right? The next
Which is,
item,
yes, and the next
S3.
one then talks about that the developer has to work with the select board under section 199 of town code.
Still think we could have handled this beforehand.
Well, I
It should have
think that
been, we
it's,
asked to have it be handled
Yeah.
beforehand, and it
And
wasn't.
well, I think it's.
But how do we keep the human that has that shrub and that tree from ever planting in his yard again in the front?
Not voting for the
We
draft
can't.
decision in the first place.
So how do we keep the site clear?
Complaints.
It has,
So car accidents, pretty much.
no,
that's a big
no,
complaint.
no.
Well, it happens there already.
Here's the problem is if that home is sold
Right,
and the new person that moves in
Right.
plants something,
they're not gonna have a
they're
clue.
not gonna know.
Right,
But then if it grows and people complain, that's where it will. 'Cause
but
you
by
can't-
then, people won't be able to see already.
Right, but you can't perpetually preclude someone from making use of their property.
Right.
Like, you
Right.
can't take an easement
Correct.
and say, so. unless you can
I also
of a
don't think we
better
can possibly anticipate every tree, shrub, or it's gonna
No, but
possibly
we
grow. but-
anticipated
We
this for
can't.
3 meetings and we weren't able to wrap our hands around it.
And this is
Kinda
not gonna-
bothers me.
This decision will not be in the chain of title to any abutter.
Correct.
So anybody buying, abutting property
Yeah,
will not know
I
of this, and there's
understand
no
all
way to
that.
put them on notice. It cannot be done.
Thank you.
Do you have a suggestion?
Yeah. What's your suggestion then, Frank?
Well, I don't see how it's something that we can.
You're gonna have that issue at every single intersection in town.
Yeah, but this one's like a really bad one.
It could have been negotiated beforehand.
Well, let's look at S3. Why don't we just step off S2 for a moment to S3? Prior to site work, applicant shall petition the select board under section 199 of town code of Falmouth to remove vegetation and mailboxes sited within the town's road layout for Trotting Park Road and adjacent property to be removed due to the continuous obstruction of the site distance. The applicant shall not remove or remove mailboxes except as properly directed by the postmaster or such party with jurisdiction. The applicant shall not trespass on private property to trim vegetation or move mailboxes without explicit written permission. The applicant shall not commence work on the development until the site inspector confirms in writing to the ZBA and town engineer that the sight line on Trotting Park meets clear meets the clear sight triangle area of 250 feet in each direction designated by the applicant's traffic engineer. I mean,
That's pretty good.
pretty,
So
that's,
actually, I have a tweak here that might,
all right.
because we have a circumstance where there's vegetation and mailboxes that are in the town's road layout, and then we have some that's on private property. So right after the word, section where we say within town's road layout, we could also say or on private property, because they do have jurisdiction over private property that obstructs the view.
Yes.
Yes.
So if we just add that clause in there, that should cover both circumstances.
My interpretation of S3 is it's putting the developer on notice that this is his responsibility to get this done, and he's not gonna be able to proceed until it is, so.
Exactly.
I think we just tell him what to do and let him figure out how to do it.
Exactly.
That's my,
I think it's well written.
Are we gonna ask for anything in writing from the post office?
no,
I've asked for 3 hearings in a row, and I get stood up every time.
we're gonna get stood up again probably then.
I can tell you what's gonna happen if they move a mailbox without permission. It's not pretty.
Make a federal case out of it.
It already is.
Then it's out of our hands.
So for that one
So where did she
addition,
put it in? Did you say it again,
So
Maureen?
the second line reads of
Within the
Falmouth
town's road.
to remove vegetation and mailbox cited within the town's road layout or on private property or try, park, and adjust to remove any obstructions to the site distance.
So we're asking the applicant to go to the select board, to have the select board go to the post office?
Yes.
Well,
And that,
no,
for those 4 boxes?
well, all right, so the select board has the authority to comment on anything in the town's road layout.
Right.
Right? So they can say, hey, those mailboxes are in the town's road layout, but
Right.
the post office is gonna have to be involved to
Right.
determine how and where those boxes get moved, right? So,
Okay.
We already have it in, you already have in the third line, or
Right.
adjacent property.
Okay. Well, I just didn't know if we were differentiating that 4 that are on town and 4 that aren't, I mean, the other 8 or whatever they are that
They're both
are on that
covered.
guy's
Yep.
property. Okay, this looks pretty good, though.
Okay. Any other on S2 or S3? No. S4? S5? S6? S7?
go, S6,
Yes, back to 6.
sorry. During the hearing, we did hear the abutters had hoped to potentially tap into the water line that would be put in for, you know, they're all on wells. Is there any appetite for us
No.
adding that?
I don't think it's our place.
I
that's-
tend to agree, but I
I
just
think
didn't
that's
know.
beyond the purview.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I
Because
think
it's
that-
in a homeowners association road.
Correct. My one question, though, Noreen, is, do we have anything here, I mean, as soon as town water goes in, there's I'll ask Frank, as former town council, there's an implicit or express easement to access that afterwards,
Well,
correct?
anybody who wants to put in a water main on a private road has to sign a water main extension agreement, and that provides for easements. But the easement does not include connecting somebody else. to some-
Right, no, that's,
And it's
But what
gonna
if
be,
this road wanted to become public in 10 years?
well, they're two different things.
Okay.
And it's gonna be constructed as such
Per
that
per
they
standards.
can hitch onto it when the time comes.
Well, the difference is how they size it.
Yeah, they're gonna size it large enough. They overdo that. Overdo the fire hydrants too.
Okay, thank you.
anything else on 6? 7? S7? S8?
Do we say holidays?
It's in there, it's Monday,
Oh, see it,
no work
okay.
on holidays. There was a question about, or a concern, if I recall, and I'm sorry, Noreen, if I missed it, about accessing of,
Perfect.
off of Sandwich Road.
It's S12.
It's
That's
written
okay,
further
thank
down.
you.
Further in.
It's in there.
I must have overlooked, thank you.
That they cannot use Percival Road past the intersection.
Correct. Or should not access off Sandwich Road. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, and one small tweak for S8. We have no Sunday or holiday hours. I would insert before holiday town observed, because we have those posted on our website, and that helps developers determine which holidays are actually holidays or not. So
Sure.
makes it easier.
So it's as posted on our website.
As posted on the town website.
Good point.
Anything else on S8, anyone? S9?
Do we have the date of the plans, what do you call it, plans, landscaping plans?
So that
I
would
have
be
them
at
with
the
me.
beginning.
It's identified as
Yeah, it was in the,
Copy it in as well. You do have it listed at the,
I just want it to be the second go-around, not the first one.
right, so on page 4, you have
It's in there,
the
okay.
bottom 2 items are the landscape plans
Okay.
that were approved.
You don't have to date it, as long as
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah,
okay,
Yep, so they're
already there.
referenced.
okay.
Yep.
anything else on S9?
Wait, can I just say something? Everyone understands that this is a concept plan. This plan is not fixed.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
S10? S11?
I have a question about S11.
Okay.
Towards the end of the first paragraph, it says the applicant shall establish a 53G account and shall pre-fund the account. Do we have to specify an amount? How is that determined?
So typically, when we're arranging for a site inspector, we will provide them with a scope from the engineering department about what's to be done, and they will typically give us a contract with an estimated amount at that time.
And that's procedure that we've used before?
Yes.
And it worked well?
So it's a moving target then, we're just saying.
Yeah.
It's a pre-fund, but we don't know how much it's gonna be, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Price of everything goes up every week.
Any other comments or questions as to S11?
So this inspector gets the EPA sign off? And does
So-
all that?
It's my expectation that while they won't specifically be involved in that process, they will monitor that it happens. Because we've had developments in the past where developers were unaware that permitting was required. And so what we want to do is make sure, and of course, the town is not specifically tasked with overseeing that, but we want to make sure that people are following correct rules. So I just figure it's best to have that site inspector who's typically familiar with this to make sure that that's done.
That's done before any work, the
Right,
EPA sign
right.
off, yeah.
It saves me from having
Yeah.
to do it.
Anything else on 11? S12? I just would like to see the language about not accessing off Sandwich Road beefed up. There was a very specific request
There was.
from an abutter, and I don't think it's an unreasonable condition.
Utilizing Percival Road covers it.
Just make it very clear, shall not use access towards Sandwich Road. Or
Prohibited.
off Sandwich Road.
Yeah, I would put both roads in.
All right, so shall not use Sandwich Road?
Percival Road beyond the development, or
Or access Percival from Sandwich Road.
I will chew that.
And that applies only to construction?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
13? $14.
Just a question again, is the bond of just a percentage of the total build, or, again, that's done specifically to this site?
So I completely stay out of the bond.
Okay.
because that's- yeah,
So it's more
town
educational.
engineering, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
They're good at it.
I think their intent is that if, for example, some work is unfinished and they can't get the developer to finish it,
They'd sweep the bond.
they finish it and, right.
Okay. Very good.
S15?
On S14,
Oh,
do we really need A through F?
So that's essentially more of like a preliminary
Okay.
direction to the site inspector about the general types of things that you're expecting.
Why would you remove it?
right.
Well, just duplicative.
Makes no sense.
Other questions or comments on 14? Yes,
How do we know what the vote is? The board voted 4 to nothing.
Oh, very good.
that was the original, yeah,
Yeah, I fixed that, yeah.
Okay,
it's like, wait a minute.
That's what you get for cut and
Yeah.
paste.
cut and paste.
Thank God, cut and paste.
I didn't know what that meant.
In the future, you should shade those things so we can find them.
Yes.
S15. 16.
Okay, we're gonna vote those.
Sure. Is there a motion to approve the conditions S as
Yeah, I would
amended?
move we approve conditions S1 through 16 with the amendments in S8, S11, S12 as discussed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Give that to Mr. Finneran. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is a 5-0 vote. Moving on to conditions entitled B, prior to building permit, B1. B2? Yep, go ahead, Jerry. B1?
Oh, no, I'm outside.
Yep. B2? B3?
Right. I thought we agreed there were gonna be 2 of these pervious paver parking spaces out at the end of the driveway. I understand the driveway's 35 feet long, but everyone wants to keep their house nice, and people backing around is inevitably gonna happen if you don't have spaces out front for the visitors. I mean, it's gonna tear up the yards, it's shuffling cars around or whatever, I mean, I thought, and the applicant agreed.
So do you want to give them the option to put it in, or you were looking to require?
No, I'm looking for 2 parking spaces out at the edge of the road and the lawn, and we agreed on it. We were going through it.
Yeah, I think that's true,
I
yeah.
mean, you,
Very specific discussion about, the
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
lattice
because-
work, the grass grows up
Yeah.
in between to allow it to
Because
be green, but it's not
otherwise-
gonna get ripped up.
you know, got a 35-foot driveway, you got somebody parked in front of the garage with 3 cars behind them, they're gonna drive all over the lawn.
Yeah.
Somebody knows that they're coming to visit for a short period of time, they use the 2 guest spaces. And after, I mean, like at Jerry's house, I mean, after 5 years, it looks just like lawn.
All right,
So
how
the
about-
applicant shall install.
Right, so I was
instead
gonna
of
say,
may.
so,
Right, Mark?
beyond
Yes.
what you
Shall.
Yeah.
said before, right? You could say, in addition, the applicant shall install pervious
Yeah.
pavers.
Right.
Yep.
2 spaces.
Yeah. B,
I'm in agreement.
B3
Yeah.
last.
And not may, shall,
Right.
Yeah.
2 spaces. And that's
Yeah,
18
'cause
feet of
there's
space.
not guest parking provided
Yeah.
within the development, so that's,
And it'll be uniform, I mean, it's just,
Any additional discussion or amendments to B3?
No.
B4?
actually,
Yep.
you could have one on any, well, he can put them where he wants. No, I don't wanna just let him do how he likes. No, I don't wanna, forget I opened my mouth.
Shall the zoning administrator be allowed to make administrative changes as requested on this issue as to location?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Anything else on
Sorry,
B3?
not that we're piling everything on you.
I just want to make this as easy, just to get this
No,
moving
because
along.
that's- yeah.
Let them,
Yeah.
something could come up, I don't want to have to get too bogged down in minutia down the road.
We're due for easy. Overdue.
B5, do we want to say consistent with town engineering and the building commissioner? He approves the parts of construction, or is that just permits? Should be in accordance with any requirements of the town
Well,
engineering.
he's gonna get everything inspected by the building inspector anyways, and regardless of what you write in here.
Right, we also
Okay.
didn't have any referral from the building commissioner, so,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, obviously, they have to build to code,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Thank you, right. Any other comments or concerns on B5? B6? B7? B8?
Now, is this where you wanted to put a
This-
a reference to the
Yeah,
comprehensive
I think
permit?
that's where it went,
Right.
yeah.
And I think for the,
How about just
The-
put
for the-
in Barnstable and supplied to the homeowner?
so added to the,
You could just put and supplied to the homeowner after Barnstable.
well, okay, but though, here's the other part of the problem is that if that homeowner sells, the next homeowner needs to have it as well. So I would say,
Why not the trust deed?
But it's gonna be in the housing documents when they buy the property. Oh, I suppose it's the same thing now. Yes, anyway.
So where would you put this?
How about at the end of
Fit in there.
Barnstable, and supplied to the homeowner and subsequent?
And how is that to be done? I mean, as time goes on, I mean, how's that done?
I don't know either.
I mean, that's why it should go to the
Fall in
homeowner's
Kim Fish's lap?
declaration of trust.
I think you're right. The homeowner-
I mean, I'm not an attorney, but I mean, wouldn't it go in the declaration of trust? Homeowners
The
Association?
declaration of trust refers to it,
Right.
but it doesn't include it, just refers to it.
unless you want
I
to
mean, the reality down the
specify
road,
that there's a copy of the comprehensive permit filed with each separate deed.
What's been done
We could put that in.
previously?
permit itself gets filed, correct? It's not, it,
It's just how do you
The
see
permit
it,
gets
yeah.
filed, but it gets filed to the lot right now, right? Because it's just a single lot, but then that's gonna be subdivided.
right, but when someone does a title search, there's gonna be an abstract note referencing this decision. I can't see a subsequent buyer not realizing that this was I'm just saying that,
Yeah.
We have had people come in
They-
and tell
they
us
don't
that
know
they did
sometimes.
not know.
Yeah. They actually don't.
How can you
Well, if they did
not?
their own title exam, they might not pick it up.
How could they not know by the price?
No, but-
Because
Jesus.
3/4 are market rate.
Right.
Yeah.
So what happens is the market rate owners come in and they will tell you they did not know they bought
Yeah.
to a 40B.
Well, that's why they have attorneys, right? I mean,
Well,
we can't
Sometimes
play
the attorney
attorney.
doesn't bother
proper
to tell
title
you.
search would turn this up, that it's,
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're getting a little into the weeds
can't- I
beyond
mean-
where we need to.
Up to
Okay.
you, totally up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely, for the concept
Yeah.
of putting people on notice, but I would say that 99% of people who are gonna buy are gonna use an attorney, and they're gonna be, this is gonna come up during a title search.
Yeah.
They're gonna realize that there are restrictions. So, I don't wanna get,
Does it say in here that the homeowners has a copy of this on, at least they should have one if someone asks?
Provide a copy to the
Yeah.
homeowners association.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
yeah,
That
that's reasonable.
might- Yeah.
Where's that? Right there.
Do we have to spell out NEF program?
Any what?
Are we on 18?
We're on B8.
8.
Everybody, I think, involved in this knows what that means. It's
NEF?
911 fund.
Oh, now I know.
All right,
And before we
regarding,
vote on that, I have two like nitpicky ones that I wanted a fence around the splash pad because someone, I think it was the,
Isn't that on there?
I couldn't see it on
I
here,
think I read it, didn't I, further on?
but it could be just me not seeing it proper.
It's down,
I think it's in here. You can just put a question mark, and if we don't come across it by the time we hit the end,
It's,
I think it's in there. I think I read it, but
Okay.
I blazed through this about half an hour before I got here. It'd be nice to have a few extra days.
I just went by the plan, and I didn't see it on the plan.
It's not on the plan, I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's the fencing for that back.
For the
section.
splash pad thing.
Right. I know somewhere the splash pad was referenced.
it is.
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
Here.
Oh, wait, there's a, no. Well, maybe we just add it in then. I can't find it.
I thought I read that. Jesus.
I don't think it was with the waivers.
Well, if it's on the plan, it's included, it's incorporated into this decision.
And
anyway.
you guys see it on the plan? Am I the
Unless
only
people
one
wanna make it a
that's seeing
I
it?
can't see it.
Condition.
I don't think it's on here.
I don't remember.
We speak to the splash pad somewhere.
It's a splash pad.
Well, let's just leave it. If there isn't, we can just do that condition. If she finds it, you don't have to, like, dwell on it. And the other one I didn't know about, I had two, is do we do a no parking sign where the fire lane is? So that the guest people don't think they can park there? Since it's the snow removal area and the fire lane?
That's not in there. I think it's very reasonable.
That's not in there, right, Maureen?
I think it says there shall be no parking, doesn't it?
Where are you
Yeah,
reading
but
that?
once again, people aren't getting a copy of
I just
this.
think I read it earlier, but I might have, let's see, I've ended up having it busy.
It says on C5, the area designated as a turnaround beyond lot 12 shall remain clear of vehicles, sports equipment, and snow. But
Signage,
once again, the people aren't getting this copy.
We haven't got there yet, though, so,
No, I mean, it's in there, I'm saying.
oh, yeah. Put in signage under C5.
Yeah, we
Regarding
can
con-
just change that to,
Regarding conditions
Yeah.
in B, is there a motion to approve?
I would move to approve paragraphs B1 through B8 with the amendments noted in paragraph B3 as discussed.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Duffy, seconded by Suzanne. All those in favor, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote 5-0. Moving on to conditions entitled C. C1. C2. C3. C4. C5.
that's where we can put it in.
All right, so how about if we,
I don't think that's asking too much, no?
But if no parking signs, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's,
signage indicating no parking?
Yeah.
I've written somewhere in the past, or
'Cause the-
said,
Like, I don't even see snow removal on my plan either. He did tell us where the snow removal was, but it's
So
not.
there is a snow storage area that's designated on the plan
Oh,
that's
okay.
in that area.
right.
Okay.
Of course, if the town is plowing, the town will plow snow.
yeah,
Wherever
Right.
it wants.
Wherever it feels like it.
It always does.
C6.
This is that
Should we-
fencing that's going on
Yeah.
top of the
Now,
filtration.
should we require this to be like 2 sections past? You know what I mean? Because you can have a fence and what, but if you're driving, you know what I mean? Should it go 2 sections past on either end, past the area itself? Or otherwise, you're gonna have a place where you can kind of look in on an angle?
I mean, I would kind of leave it up to them that they can put in the fencing as they need it and then blend into the landscaping?
Well, I mean, if you got a 90-foot drainage area that's cleared, 90 feet of fence isn't gonna do it. You gotta extend on either end, because you can see by, and everybody seems to be offended by looking at brand-new houses. I mean, it was the neighbors' concern, they wanted the buffer.
They wanted the whole fence. the
Yeah,
whole
yeah, they
length.
wanted the whole fence. I mean, if, whatever, they're
that's a-
90 feet,
I
right?
think that's a
The-
reasonable compromise.
I think 2 sections past either end, you know,
Yeah.
would be,
But how long is a section of
8
fence?
section
feet.
of fence is 8
8
feet,
feet.
Okay, so you want them to extend on 8 feet on either side?
16 feet.
So then,
8 on each, times
No,
2.
no, it's
16
2
on each
sections.
side, it's 2 sections.
Oh, 2 on
16,
each.
yeah, that way on an angle, if you're driving by, you're not gonna be able to see by, which seems, I mean,
So extend 2 8-foot sections.
yeah, 2
on
8-foot
either
sections
end,
on
yeah.
either end. It's not much of an ask, and it,
No, that's good.
you know, when all's said and done, everybody that was unhappy here, their kids are gonna be cutting through the woods, they're gonna be playing with the kids on the other side, and everybody's gonna live happily ever after.
As long as they don't drive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else on C6?
Do we care whether it's a chain link fence or a,
Chain link fence
Not a
doesn't
chain
block
link
the
fence,
blue
it's-
view.
It's gotta be a,
Are we doing stockade? Do we mention that?
okay, so it has to be what?
Up to him, whatever he wants
No,
to
it can't
do,
be
as long as
chain
you
link,
can't
but
see
Not
through it.
designated, okay.
I'm gonna,
you want to just say solid,
Yeah, I think we should say solid, definitely. Thank you.
they can pick the material and.
Yeah. But the homeowners association's in charge of maintenance.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
And there it is, next one.
C7. C8.
oh, that's where, turnaround area fencing. Okay, that's where I put that together, all right.
C9. C10. C11. C12.
Who enforces, well, enforcement's not our headache, but damage to private property?
they'll file a complaint,
Yep.
Okay, yeah, it's not I.
not us.
And the highway will take care of Trotting Park Road.
Yeah.
Anything else on 11? C12. C13. C14. C15.
Who does the, a timeout on the 14, who does the monitoring? Does town council get someone?
No,
Looking in
so,
front.
No, it's-
the developer.
Who'd you look at
The developer?
Mass
Developer
housing.
engages with a monitoring agent, yeah.
Okay.
So I would move approval of paragraph C1 through C15 with the amendments to paragraph C5, C6, as discussed.
Second.
Second,
One quick question, there was the issue about you wanted the splash pad fence.
Fencing.
Did we?
Did we find that where it was? I think we should just put it in.
You know,
As a-
it said fencing
What's splash
maintained.
Yeah,
What were
It
you
was
talking about?
specifically a splash pad
Yeah.
somewhere.
And it was specifically asked for by that Beals company?
Yeah.
Right, okay, I will just review back through and make sure that the splash pad is fenced.
Noreen, if this question is, what is the splash pad from,
Where are we talking about? What are we
about
talking
during the
about?
snow removal area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end of the development, they had an additional drainage area.
That is another drainage.
For stormwater, which would be for the development slash, I guess, snow storage. So it was referred to, I believe, as a splash pad.
Splash pad.
But it's not,
If you put a fence around it,
They're
then
gonna
you
get
can't use
smashed.
it, you can't use it for storage. No.
Yeah, and I mean, if we get a heavy snow,
I mean,
they're gonna smash it, it's gonna be a smash pad.
Stone there or
I
something.
think it's kind of a exercise in futility, put the fence
I
on.
just went by the Beals, the peer review said it should have a fence. But I don't, you know, I just went by the peer review. Doesn't have to be in there.
I mean, I imagine the homeowners may have some interest in that as well, in that if they find that it's, you know, a great depression that could be a safety
It's a
issue.
safety for
Because I
kids,
know we
yeah.
did have another development where there was sort of a depression that was created. And it essentially needed a fence because of the drop-off.
And it turns into a trash catcher too, usually.
Fence?
We want to add language that the developer or homeowners may fence the splash pad as needed.
I don't think we
They
have
can
to
do
say
it if
that.
they want to, and,
I don't really understand what this is about, so
No.
I'm hesitant to vote for it.
yeah, why make you put up a fence that's gonna get knocked over?
Yeah, don't put it in there, it's all right by me. I was just looking at the,
Going by notes.
Yep.
So the motion to approve with amendments, was there a second?
yeah, I think it was.
Give that to Suzanne. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is a vote 5-0. Waivers.
I must say, this is the most discombobulated waiver list I've ever seen. It doesn't give any, exceeds 500 feet, it doesn't say we are going to be 1,200. It doesn't give any definition.
Well, we allow them to exceed the 500, I mean. it's
No, I
not-
mean, in every case, it doesn't.
Well, why don't we go one by
We're
one?
exceeding this. Well, tell us what you're exceeding.
W1.
Yeah, there you go.
As per plan.
You should do this for a living.
W1. W2. W3. W4. W5. W6.
Lot size.
W7.
Wait, I'm still at 6.
Hold up, we'll stay on 6.
Yeah, because mine's, I'm going with theirs and trying to transfer it over here, and theirs is like bad. All right. Do we have the 30524B with the intersection radius? I have to find that one in here. That's the one that's probably coming up. All right, just keep going, I guess. I'll go over mine later. I
The
guess.
radius is 13.
They're asking for a waiver, intersection radius 25 feet, so it's 13?
Yeah, W13.
Okay.
Well, it was in
We're
there.
not there yet.
We ain't there yet.
W7, Wildlife Corridor. W8, Coastal Pond Overlay District.
Like, there's no specification in any of these. It's not good.
W9. W10. W11. Typo, Noreen.
Yeah, I
That.
just was looking at that, yeah, which of course, when you click on spell check, it's a word.
It is, it's,
Yeah, they don't.
a hat is a hat,
Yeah,
but it's supposed to
yeah.
be that.
Yep, I will fix that.
Thank you.
These are all blankets that we just did, 7, 8. Everyone knows that, right? Not specific at all.
So these waivers are worded essentially precisely as were submitted to the board.
Yep.
But it is per plan submitted, and it's, they're just requesting a waiver of the particular regulation, which is, so, they still have to do everything by the plans they've submitted. I don't disagree with you, that it would be helpful to know specifically what or why, but,
12.
12, thank you.
I just have a comment. I understand that the cost of granite curbing is prohibitive, and I know we approve this all that, but I just have to say, that asphalt berm curbing is garbage.
Yep.
And within 5 years, 20% of it's misplaced, displaced, or missing altogether. But, I mean, we've always allowed it, so
Well, do we need language, Mark, to your point, if the curbing is damaged, it has to be replaced?
Maintained asphalt, well-maintained asphalt berm curving? Is that gonna do it? I don't know. I
Well,
just know
this
the
is a
stuff.
waiver, not a condition, so
Right.
it's the
Yeah.
wrong section.
Yeah,
Good point.
as I said, the stuff's.
I agree with you about the durability of.
Yeah, and I mean, you could use tack on it too, and they never do, or emulsion or whatever.
But
the
it's
hell
the
they call
waiver.
I think in this case, the homeowners association is just gonna have to do it.
Right, because it would be part of a
Yeah, it's not a
common
public way,
area.
yeah.
So,
It's a waiver, so
Yeah.
condition it, yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Anything else on W12?
No?
13?
I just know that once again, Beals was not happy with this waiver at all.
Which one?
13.
Yeah, well,
It doesn't give us, once again, any information. Mark gave us the information.
Well, I think it's implied we're waiving the regulation, but they're gonna build what's on the plans that we've already approved, so.
And actually,
Didn't approve them yet. I mean, I guess.
W14?
just, that's, where Trotting Park and Percival meet, or is that in each?
Are we back on 13?
Yeah, back on 13, just for my own clarification.
I thought it was on
Each
Percival.
individual, yeah, on individual, Percival and,
Yeah.
and meet Trotting Park.
Yeah, that's what I took from it, but once
Yeah.
again, no information.
Yeah, but it's certainly an improvement over what's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. But this,
And
this
there's
is
no,
just
there's no more,
land, that's all I
there's
know.
no more room anyway if we wanted to.
No.
So, I mean, it's kind of,
Moot
Kinda
point,
have
I
to.
guess, yeah.
but it's definitely an improvement, that's for sure.
Anything else on W13? W14? W15?
Yes, I have a
Yeah.
comment here.
Yeah, me too.
Private driveway is not appropriate. It should be subdivision road.
It's not considered a subdivision.
now, the other
It is a
question,
subdivision.
the other question I have for you here is they're asking for the waiver for the sidewalk to connect to Trotting Park. And I think it was the board's intention that the interior sidewalk actually connect to Trotting Park.
Yes,
Definitely.
definitely.
So if you are inclined to want that, you would be voting
To eliminate,
deny that specific waiver. So,
let's just take
No,
it
no.
out.
so I guess what I'll say to you.
But doesn't it
no, you-
affect
you-
the,
You can't take it out, but what I would say to
Oh,
you
okay,
is,
deny.
they're asking you to waive all of these, and you have the option to waive them or to deny the waiver.
Yep.
So if you don't, if you want their development sidewalk to connect to Trotting Park, you would be separately denying that particular.
Yes, I have a note to deny 15.
Does that, if we in fact deny that and require that, doesn't that have an effect on the radius to make it even smaller?
I don't think so. I think the sidewalk.
How could it not?
Well,
You'll be using the very edge of his property to connect to Trotting Park. That will take the 3 feet or whatever the width of the sidewalk is away from the turning radius, won't it? And make it more acute. I don't see how it couldn't.
that's a good question.
I don't know.
Just voting it down, in my mind.
Why don't we start with W1 to W14? Is there a motion to approve those as amended?
I would move we approve waivers 1 through 14 as presented.
Is there a second? Give it to- All those, in discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved 5-0. Regarding W15,
I would move to deny W15.
I'll second. Discussion?
So again, I ask, if we're gonna require him to join the sidewalk to Trotting Park, he's gonna have to build the sidewalk on his property. So that is gonna make that turning radius more acute. Kids are probably gonna cut through the corner of the property and to the left there anyway, with the trees in question, but, I mean, sure. I guess overall, you'd probably be better off having a sidewalk.
Yeah,
Even if the
absolutely.
car drives over it,
Bus stops right there,
Yeah.
too.
pops their tire every,
Right.
Any further discussion?
I had one question when I looked at the Beals. Since Frank just declared it a subdivision, it says subbase of the road shall be 12 inches, and they're proposing 6.
We say somewhere in there that it's to be built to subdivision standards.
Right.
That's one of the conditions.
So the 30535C waiver, I don't see it on here.
What number?
30535C,
W1?
so she didn't put it in. I had it in his waiver list here. So just no waiver on subbase, I guess we could just do that, I guess.
We don't have to waive on the subbase, that's an
Okay.
engineering decision,
All right,
I think. you know.
Yeah.
okay.
As to W15, there's a motion and a second. Is there discussion on the motion is to deny waiver 15. Any discussion?
I thought we already voted.
All those in favor of a denial on W15, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? W15 is, you're opposed?
yeah, sorry, though.
The denial is moved 4 to 1.
Or 1 to 4.
Yeah.
It's an affirmative motion. So W16. '17.
Do we have a question with, oh no, this is private driveway, so forget it.
Well, let's just talk about 16, though. I'm kind of confused here now as what this actually says. Subdivision is private with a private driveway. What is the private driveway?
Okay, so again,
Private road.
we've determined it's a road, but the language.
It's a road, it's not a
the language-
driveway.
Right, but the language that was imported here was the language they submitted to you.
Who is
Well,
the
let's
applicant?
correct it.
The applicant.
It's a road.
Right, so, what we can do is just, correct driveway to road.
Yeah.
Additional comments or changes to W16? No? 17?
Can, we just throw in there, because a lot of these asphalt berms, they get torn up quite easily by the plows, because they don't put emulsion, or the guys call it tack. It's the adhesive that holds them down. I mean, and sometimes just the frost heaves knocks the things right off, so can we put sidewalks and catch basins have asphalt berms with, glued with emulsion or whatever?
We'd have to condition that. This is just the waiver on granite curbing. The sidewalks and catch basins, I think, is just the
But
justification.
also, there are different types of
I don't
asphalt.
know if you can get into construction
Yeah.
methodologies, though.
Right.
Well,
No, we could just lay it on the homeowners association,
I mean,
right?
They're responsible for maintenance and
Right.
upkeep, so.
yeah.
Do we
but
have,
they do last much longer when they're applied properly.
where's the section for homeowners upkeep? And maybe we can make sure that that's what Mark wants it to say. 'Cause
That was
is
back on
important, 'cause-
condition about, I can't remember which number, but it was homeowners association maintaining common areas and road.
Yeah, common areas.
Yeah, you know what?
So maybe we can just put some verbiage in there about berms,
Isn't that part of the common road?
just in that.
Common
I
area.
think it's part of the,
Oh, here you go, C7 on page 18
That was skipped.
is the homeowner docs, tells what they're responsible for.
Okay.
So you have the main road, the turnaround area, fencing, stormwater drainage system, and landscaping. Do you want
So
to
right,
add?
sidewalks and curbings, right?
Yeah.
Does
sidewalk.
that sound okay?
Yeah, at least would,
No, I agree.
and I mean,
They are putting the bad stuff in.
C7 on page 18.
Okay.
Sidewalk and curbing.
Does that mean a revote on that?
I would.
Yeah, as to that particular, which number was it, please, Noreen?
C7.
7 on page 18.
As to C7 on
Page
page
17.
18, is there a motion to amend?
Oh,
I would move we amend our approval of paragraph C7 to include sidewalks and curbing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Amended, 5-0.
We got you, Mark.
We were on W17. Any additional changes? W18. Regarding, is there a motion to approve W16 through 18 as amended with 16?
so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Duffy, discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? 16 through 18 are approved as amended.
Good job, Noreen.
So now you are
3-month
down to
job,
the
only took 3
final
years.
vote for the comprehensive
Is there discussion on the overall approval of this 40B application?
page 8.
Page 8.
I think we pretty much covered
Yeah,
everything.
I think we beat this.
Well, I would move the approval of the comprehensive permit to construct 12 single-family dwellings, 3 of which will be affordable at 0 Percival Road, Lot 4, T-Ticket, Massachusetts, Assessors Map 34, Section 2, Parcel 010, Lot 004, known as the premises, based upon the above findings and subject to the conditions in herein.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Finneran is the second. Discussion on the motion. The board is awfully silent. Okay. Roll call, or is this a straight vote?
Straight vote.
Straight vote?
Yeah,
All
right.
those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0.
Congratulations.
Yay.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Wait,
Moving on the agenda. New hearings, we have none tonight.
Yay.
Minutes of 5 October and 19 October are being tabled. Board discussion. Plenty of that on Saturday.
Saturday morning.
Board updates. Future agenda items.
We have next week. Lawrence School.
No,
No,
it's November 30th.
no,
Oh, November 3rd.
no, 9th.
What do we have? We have, oh, November 2 here.
Yeah.
November 9th, it's November 9th or?
November
No,
2nd.
town meeting is, no, I thought that's true.
The next hearing is, will be held, as well, other than our board retreat on 10/28, that means at 9 o'clock, correct?
Right.
Our next regular scheduled meeting is November the 2nd, 2023, 6:30 here in the Selectmen's Meeting Room. Having no further business, I declare us adjourned.